Never give up on yourself. Never give up on yourself. Never, ever. No. Always stay right there, centered, knowing and being who you are, authentically. Not the false ego that you're promoting and defending and building and creating yourself into whatever it is you think is a product or will be loved and liked and appreciated and glorified and finally made it and successful and blah, 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 all the stuff when you already are a success. You can't help it. Everything you do is a success. If you're miserable, that's successful. Yeah, you wanted to be. You accepted it. Well, no, I didn't. It happened to me. No, you have to look at your attitude. And what happens is, I was looking at, because I'm really, as I'm into the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 11th canto, and, I'm a researcher, spiritual researcher, so I'm always looking for clues and studied many, many, many different paths, and there's always something good and valuable there. And they're clues, because you have to know what you're looking for, what you're really interested in. And what I notice is that, everybody around here dies, and then they're born again, and they die again. Well, then I got into reincarnation, because I want to know, well, am I still coming back? And then you can go back into your time track and all your past lives, or maybe it's a program, and maybe it's something you accepted, maybe you didn't, maybe you did, but whatever it was, there's something there. You have some ideas or concepts or beliefs or experiences that are there. But you never want to give up on yourself, and I'll tell you why. Because so those were my interests, and then I was going on. Well, wait a minute. There's a lot of. Is there more than that? Is there beyond that? And how you also even deal with that sense of leaving your body and what that's like. And so many people say, "Well, I don't even want to look. I got here, so I don't have to worry about a thing." Well, because you are eternal. If you don't control, the mind actually travels with you as you transmigrate body to body, because that's its function, the subtle body. And you've got the physical body, which is the manifestation of your subtle body, the actual physical manifestation. That's why when people go into the subtle plane, you're still giving an image of the body that you have, because it's that image that's there. And then here it has the experience of being able to taste and touch, with our senses that are gathering information and from the food, for the taste, for the ears, the hear, the nose, the smell, all of this traveling information. And that goes then into that computer, you would call the memory bank, or the subconscious, the unconscious, however you want to do that. That's when we get fragmented, but that's that. But the soul, the Atma, the self, it's called Atma in the Vedic teaching. But don't get confused by getting, I would suggest you do whatever you want, but I find that being open does not mean that I waver in what I'm doing, but what I know is I go where I'm guided from within. If I'm interested, or I want to learn, or want to know, and because that's who and what I trust is my own self, and not the mind, not the thoughts, not the thinking, because they are not all. You watch them for a while. I don't even need to tell you about it. I've done a whole lot of talks on this. You watch your mind and you tell me if it's your friend or not. And to make it your friend, you have to be able to stay in the bliss zone. That's my book, Live Your Bliss. I really suggest you get that, because what you think of me is none of my business. It's so wonderful for people, because it's that sense is you don't be bounced all over the place because of what people are saying or thinking or singing or projecting, or how, because everything that you've ever done, you've never done, because you're not the doer. And I know that's a big concept for people to get, because they want to believe they're the doer and they take credit for it and all that sort of thing. Just like raise your hand, one of them. Okay, how'd you do that? No, tell me, how did you describe all the muscles, how they worked, and how you got this one to go there, and how they, it's like, no, And even that, who's telling us that? Maybe it's the divine that does all of it, and we're trying to explain it, you see, but we can't explain it because it's beyond explanation. That's who you are. And not giving up on you, you persevere. You are in your divine experiment. This has been my work, to discover what's really possible for us. And when I attained everything that was possible for me in that outer world of the fame and the celebrity, that area, and having my ministry be, universal and students, it was wonderful, but there was also a lot that was not there for me that I needed to continue on, because I'm a spiritual seeker, a sleuth. So that I've always said that if I find something better than what I'm doing or what I'm focusing on, obviously I'm going to go to that. But the problem is when it's a job for people, or people make money from it as their source of everything, they set up camp in these different schools of philosophy or teaching, whatever, and they stay limited by that because they're trying to prove a point. You see, truth you don't need to try and prove. You don't need to protect or defend. It's who you are, because that's the value of the truth, the absolute truth. And you don't want to give up on yourself in the sense of maybe you say, well, I failed, I'm not okay, I'm not good enough. You just notice this is the mind just blaspheming you and trying to destroy you and destroy your enthusiasm, your happiness, your sense of ability and talent. You don't even do something because somebody will criticize you. People are criticizing you every single moment out there because they're criticizing in the mind. They're criticizing themselves. They hate themselves. They hate you too. And there's in love, most people, it's just lust. The love is to compare. I have a dear friend, and her mom's going through these challenging times with the Alzheimer's and all of that because of the prions that have been eating people's brains from all of the mad cow and such that's out there, that's in everything. People have no awareness of that. They don't look into that. They don't even want to care because they got to, most people live out of bag. You know how much plastic is in the body because of all the plastic that gets in everything? I mean, come on. So it's like, yeah, we've made a ton of mistakes out there. We've done a lot of goofy things, and we got the results coming back to us, but where did those come from? And also you have to look at where did we get those ideas? Where did we get those concepts? Why did we do that? And why did we do that? And we're going to look, well, we always thought that would bring us happiness. We thought it was valuable. We were told to do this, or we looked at our heroes or people, celebrities, or whoever we've got programmed to believe was somebody special and, more wonderful than everybody else, and they had more stuff, and you want to be like them, and all of this. And you really don't. But that's how we get so far off of who we are, and people then hate themselves and beat themselves up because they didn't make it. Yeah, I didn't make it really this time. I just didn't make it. And when it comes to them that all those dreams that they had, maybe they're not going to be realized because they have to look at where the dreams come from. The natural, then, magic is how we really function in harmony with the divine and each other, and that it's all possible. That's the truth. And then when we fall from that truth of who we are, then nobody needs to police us. We just abuse ourselves over and over again and tear ourselves down, and then the person's depressed or feeling nothing's possible. I'll never make it. I'll never be good enough. Why? Then I'll never feel good. Why don't you just feel good? Oh, well, why? Well, why not? For no reason at all. I know. One of she used to be in my children's youth group in San Diego, Allison. And she's a wonderful singer. And I was just thinking about how one of her songs and that she's written, they're so expressive and so beautiful. And each of us, we have all gifts. Gifts to give, gifts to share, gifts to receive, gifts to be open to. There's so much of who we are that is so vast and glorious and wonderful that we experience by opening and allowing ourselves to be and to experience who we really are in every moment. And when you give up on yourself, first of all, you can't die, so you're always going to be. And your happiness and stuff is not going to come from the outside or the pain. It's the mind. And you have never been harmed or hurt as the self or the soul, ever. 10,000 of us can fit on the end of a piece of hair. You're so small, but so vast and brighter than 10,000 suns. And when you know this, it's not about you just glorify yourself. It's not about that. It's to honor that and to be humbled in that. And to allow yourself to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again in every moment. And that you never give up on you. And you never give up on, and there's so much more. But anyway, I just want to send you love, and got lots of videos for you to watch. Do phone counseling, teaching and sharing and mentoring. And some people, they'd like to actually be doing practitioner work, or they're doing their spiritual work in a way to be a spiritual counselor and therapist for other people. So then that means that then you would work with me on a continual basis, however it works for you, to help you come to that realization and to that point when you actually start doing that, or do that in the way that is fulfilling what may I say, the bounty of what you have to offer, of who you are. So, never give up on yourself. Right now, start fresh again. And that mind is that get thee behind me. AI, I trust here and now, and I know who I am. And so do you.